So, love my enemies, what's up with that? But you see, this teaching is not for our head, it's for our heart, isn't it? You know the difference between your head and your heart? We have such a profound intellect that is able to make so much meaning out of what is taking place in our life. But the challenge with our intellect is that it doesn't have the capacity to know all the things that we need to know to be able to make whatever we're having mean something that is linked to our essence, the truth of us. It doesn't always come to that conclusion. Oh, this is about my greatness. This is about my magnificence. This is about me making a difference. No, our intellect meaning makes based upon our conditioning, based upon whatever we're carrying around with us that is our baggage, our shadow. It's our heart that knows, that understands. Our heart is not burdened by our story. And so this teaching, love your enemy, is a teaching for our heart, because to love the enemy means to accept, to allow, to embrace, to be present to what we have. Because what we have is always for us. The discomfort that we feel in any given moment with respect to what we have is arising out of who we are not. Our inadequacies, our unworthiness, our sense of not being good enough, our fears, our self-doubts. And for us to be present to the enemy means that we have access to healing that part of ourself that is in the wilderness of the disconnect. And then Jesus says, bless those that curse you. Here again, this is not a teaching for the head, because our head has gathered sufficient evidence to be able to polarize our entire reality in terms of good and bad, right and wrong, rich and poor. And yet it's our heart that understands that the highest expression of our faculty of faith is to know that which man meant for evil, God meant for good. And to be able to connect to that capacity to know beyond appearances is what we have been gifted with. That's what our heart is all about. And then do good to those that hate you. This is something the head's not going to get around either, because the doing of good arises out of that intention that only our heart can provide us with, that yearns to reconcile, that yearns to forgive, that yearns to do the right thing. So doing good is to be in the question, what does it look like to be unto this that I'm having as my experience, the way of God, the avenue through which God is literally expressing in this moment, in this circumstance, and to allow the heart to answer that question. You can't figure that question out, because our intellect will resist, won't go there. And then finally, Jesus says, pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, so you may be called children of your Father which is in heaven. And this might seem to be an easier instruction, dear God, get this out of my life. And it's likely that when we're in an experience where we really believe and our feelings confirm that this is against me. Here's one exception. We're in this kind of position. Have you ever been in this kind of position? Tantrum yoga? When we're holding on to a circumstance as if it's the reason why we can't be the one, that's what it means to be a victim. Now, it's not to say that there aren't conditions that are horrendous, and there aren't victims with respect to the atrocities that people can experience in the ignorance of and in the absence of an awareness of our divinity. But we have to realize that those are consequences of humanity's disconnect, because I can only be injured or wounded when I am not connected to my own sense of well-being and worth, and my offender can only hurt me when he or she is not connected to their own sense of wholeness their well-being and worth. So the ills of this world are a consequence of the disconnect. There is nothing out there that is against me. And so this is our challenge. This is our invitation. This is our mission. This is our purpose: to love, to bless, to do good, and to pray the prayer that Jesus prayed, from that struggle to reconcile the, quote, circumstance from the reality of one's essence. And that prayer was, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." So the peace statement was something that obviously came through me, and I feel so gratified that it's been used by so many congregations and has been a source of inspiration. But I wonder what would have happened if I just sort of recognized that I had this awful condition that I almost died from. I recovered from it, and all those voices. God bless you. Thank you.